Hello, everybody. I am Marina Mikhailis, and today I would be just reading a response from Hank Green because he did respond to the Sargon VidCon situation, and I don't think most people have seen it, and I don't think Sargon of Akkad has seen it, but I do think it's touched on what I've said in previous videos where I don't think that Sargon of Akkad or the anti-feminist community pays attention to how it probably comes across from the outside looking in. Sure, as a fan of Sargon for 2, 3, 4 years, he may come across one way, like if you're part of the community, just like how the feminists view their community, the Christians view their community, the Satanists view their community. All groups are going to seem different ways to outsiders. Feminists, see themselves as, positive, great group that helps others. Anti-feminists think differently. Christians see themselves as a wonderful, amazing group, that sees themselves a certain way. That's a strong atheist, a militant atheist, probably doesn't view a Christian the way a Christian views themselves and other Christians, same thing could be said of Satanists, same thing could be said to any group. And I don't think the anti-feminist community pays attention to the type of message they're sending across to outsiders because usually the content is for people who've been following you for, 2, 3, 4 years. That's you. I don't think Sargon or many anti-feminists consider how they come across from the outside looking in because you could be in a community so long, whether it's a feminist community, a Christian community, there's a Satanist community, whatnot. It doesn't matter which group, by the way, it doesn't matter which group you name. Every group has this problem that you become detached to how you come across to outsiders. That to an outsider, you seem this type of way. And I think that Sargon of Akkad got famous really, really fast. I think Sargon of Akkad got famous so fast that he doesn't really think about the effects he has on his, fans. Because Sargon of Akkad seems like a nice, kind, sweet, friendly guy. Lacey Green says he's nice. JJ Talks says he's nice. Many people who spoke to him in person says he's a nice guy. But I do think that when you get famous really, really fast, you're still like yourself, like, oh, this is me, this is what I think. But your fans could behave in a way that's really, really toxic and hurts the whole entirety of the community. So this is what Hank Green has to say. And I mean, I just hope that the community could just pay attention to how it probably seems from an outsider's point of view instead of I don't get this because Christians don't get where militant atheists are coming from. A strong feminist don't get where, again, every group suffers this. Every group begins to become so myopic that they are essentially frogs in a well. And frogs in a well is a reference to an older Chinese story, if you haven't heard of that reference before. So this person spoke on Sargon's behalf, and this is what Hank Green's response is. All I All I ever see Sargon do is whip himself and his audience into a righteous frenzy, and that energy gets released in destructive ways. Engaging with him publicly is off the table for me. He's too good at manufacturing outrage. My email inbox can attest to that. And yes, Sargon did make a YouTube video and he did leave Hank Green's email. And I'm pretty sure that many of his fans, left Hank Green really angry emails. Um, I'm sure we'll talk before the next VidCon as I want him to attend. As I want him to attend. So Hank Green actually wants Sargon to be around. Hank Green actually wants Sargon to attend, and we'll need to clear the air, but I need some space from this. So Hank Green just wanted Sargon to attend this whole entire time. Jesus. Okay. We need to discuss the psychological toll his content has on people, and that his appearance is thus not a neutral event. I know the critique isn't harassment line, but it results in brigading my videos in my friends' videos, threatening emails. It's intense. And I think Hank Green is now talking about his personal experience. I think Sargon's fans have left Hank Green lots of nasty comments in his videos because let's not forget, Hank Green is a YouTuber himself. And I think Hank Green received threatening emails from Sargon fans or people, either that or people pretending to be Sargon's fans. And then to watch him say that Anita fakes her own harassment the next day on Joe Rogan, and then he calls her a dick and a bitch. He doesn't seem to be acting in good faith. It's hard to respond to that with, hey, let's have a chat. And personally, I wouldn't want to have a conversation with a person who would call a friend of mine a dick and a bitch or, whatever. But I mean, to be fair, Anita Sarkeesian did call him a garbage human. So I could see Sargon's points of view because it's kind of a lot like if somebody called me a garbage human right here, right now, I'd probably like, God, you goddamn motherfucker, go kill yourself. So if a person called me a garbage human right here, right now, I'll probably actually tell them to go kill themselves. But I do not actually want them to kill themselves, but at the exact same time, I'm not Sargon and I do not have 600K fans. He doesn't seem to be acting in good faith. It starts to respond to that with, hey, let's have a chat. Also, hard to get him saying, I wouldn't even rape you to a British politician. And I did bring that up in a prior video because the ranting feminist brought that up to me, where it's kind of a lot like, how does I wouldn't even rape you comes across to outsiders. Are you a troll or do you want to be taken seriously? Because a lot of times people like Anderson Cooper and People at CNN basically, they wear suits, they behave in a very professional manner so that people could take them really seriously, and it's like, are you a troll, or do you want to be taken seriously? Because is there really a go-between? Is there really a midpoint? Could you even have that? Because I know that I Wouldn't Even Rape You was a lot of fun that a lot of Sargon gun fans were having. And people were having a lot of fun, like, I wouldn't even rape you. And it was like really fun for, Sargon fans. Sargon fans had so much fun at doing that. But to the outside looking in, it probably comes across as mean spirited, hateful, trolls, assholes, jerk. It's kind of like it may be fun for you, but to the outside looking in, you probably seem childish and like, it's going to be taken different ways to different people. And again, this is kind of a lot like how your group comes to outsiders. Kind of like if you're an atheist, you may view Christians a certain way as a collective. As an anti-feminist, you would see feminists a certain way. Again, as an atheist or a Christian, you may view a Satanist a certain way. You know, Whether you like it or not, groups do get judged by how people carry themselves, and people will judge you whether you like it or not. And it's kind of like, are you a troll, or do you want to be taken seriously? I wouldn't even rape you to a British politician, even if his response is, but it's a funny joke. I wouldn't rape anyone. Laugh out loud. And that's the type of things that people are saying. Manufacturing outrage in this event. I believe people have a right to be outraged when a panelist insulted a paying member of the public. But you get that it's more complicated, and that's right. And, and also that there are a lot of greater injustices to be outraged about. I think he's talking about women in the Middle East having acid poured on their faces. We disagree about this. I think Anita has been treated tremendously unfairly for years, and one of the agents of that surprised her in real life. You think Anita is a lying con artist and is only doing any of this for attention and money. We disagree, and we will never agree, which is why I'm not dragging my life into this any further than it has been dragged. Sorry, I shouldn't have put words in your mouth just now. So it seems like Hank Green is a really nice guy. He seems nice and friendly, but he's just tired because, like, let's not forget, Sargon has been tweeting Hank Green nonstop, and therefore Sargon's fans have been tweeting Hank Green nonstop, and this must be very tiring for him. And he's not trying to get rid of Sargon. He did say that he wants him to attend to the next VidCon, but he needs to have a talk with Sargon before he invites him to VidCon again. And because he has been flooded with emails, like, Sargon Sargon did link Hank Green's email, and it's kind of a lot like he's just been flooded with emails from Sargon fans, and it must be very, very stressful. It must be so stressful for him. I think Sargon just wanted to make sure he sees it, But Sargon again doesn't pay attention to just how famous he really is, so it's kind of a lot like it's just complicated. It's very complicated. Anyway, this has been Rena Michaelis. If you're not subscribed already, please subscribe to my channel. Give this video a like, share, my video everywhere. Please, if you really, really like my content and if you really support me, tell all of your friends about me. Um, Leave comments in the comment section below. Let me know your thoughts and let's have a conversation about this. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Let's just have a conversation. Bye bye.